Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this. It is a very gray and foggy day outside. It is chill, but it's not exactly chill. So, I mean, I'm comfortable going outside like this, but thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, I did sleep, and that's at least a good thing. Never a lot. I never sleep like more than 5 hours at a shot maximum, but at least I got some, and hopefully you were able to sleep as well. That would be a very good thing. And, of course, front-loading of videos, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome. If without their help, I and my pets would be, well, just the one at the moment, would be literally hosed, and that would suck. So, if you would like to help me out, be a beautiful and awesome person, I have links to the Patreon in the Show More video description, as well as a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like pet food on it, and there's a post office box where if anyone sends me anything at all, I will open it up on camera and we will all take a look at that, and that'll be very cool. So, thumbs up. Thank you all. Front loading the video is over. Yay! Yeah, yesterday I didn't get a lot done, but at least I did something. I went and recorded some D100 Dungeon for the channel today. I'm going to be editing that and posting it, and that's a good thing. So, thumbs up on that. I was able to get that done. It runs a lot easier now. It's kind of intimidating at first because there's a lot of stuff to do, but the more you do it, of course, the easier it gets because it becomes more familiar. And even though the game master is a book and the book won't stop talking, that is fun. And by that I just mean you are always leafing through it. If not to look up a test or some such, you have to roll on all the charts. So thumbs up for that. It's a good game, and I'm glad that I was able to get it so I can do it quicker and able to finish a quest. So thumbs up for that. Now, let me see what else I have on my list. Oh, yes. I have the battle mat up there because with the arrival of the battle mat, I'll be able to do things like the Rusty Dagger series. These are the little booklet type RPGs. They're 10 pages, but a page is only like this big. And one of those 10 pages is the cover, but the combat involves like miniatures rules with using a battle mat. So thumbs up on that, and I'll be able to do that with these, and we'll be able to take a look at those. So thumbs up on that. Yay! Very, very cool, I think. So thumbs up. And yeah, so D100 Dungeon is going quicker, and pretty soon I'm going to be starting up some other stuff because now that it's the new year and the library is open on Mondays, I can go up and start getting this month's $44 all spent with printing up at the library. I took a look at the 200-page document for the Drifter, the rules and events for playing. They would like you, the author, to print it in color. I don't have access to a professional printing place where I could just say, I would like this printed, please, and then they can even bind it. All I have access to in Shelton, Washington is the library and the photocopier there. We have nothing else. So I don't have any great amount of choices. To print it in color, those 200 pages on the photocopier at the library would cost $92. So yeah, I'm not going to be printing that in color. Hopefully, though, because it's all just in like shades of black and kind of gray and red, the red should come as a different kind of gray, but even the red has different symbols because they're using decks of cards in the game. So it should work out. I want to get that printed. I've got some other PDFs of other things that I want to get printed. So I'm going to be using all that up pretty bloody quickly, probably all today. So I've got to get the one video edited and then rendered. I got to go to the library and get printing done, and then come on back and then just try to continue surviving. So I've got a lot of stuff I got to do today, Whether or not I'm going to be actually able to do them is going to depend on the executive dysfunction. Some days it's really bad, some days it's barely there at all. Gotta love ADHD. Plus all my other conditions, which don't make anything really good, the depression, and then where I am on my own particular autism spectrum, because each person is on their own individual spectrum. Nobody's on a gradient, and there's no big one spectrum where you can put everybody on. Each individual person is an individual, and because of genetics and nature versus nurture and all that, each person is going to be on a different spot on their own particular spectrum. So thumbs up for that. But taking a look at my list on here for the things that I have, which aren't a whole lot, one of the things I'm going to go talk about is on the creative side of things. I have mentioned that there is the setting that I'm talking about, even with the cryptid part of it, is big and heavy. What I want to do on my creative channel and here is I have tried to do a system where I talk out the entire thing almost, like it was laid out in a book, but I've never been able to do that. Number one, because I didn't realize that I had ADHD when I had all those plans, and number two, it's still growing and evolving. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make a series of videos where I might choose, okay, this is the beginning of the multiverse says, and then just ramble about that for like 20 minutes until I think I've talked that all out. And then each particular portion of it, there's the Ungata, the void, and then how the multiverses were created, and how inside of each multiverse there is all this infinite creation of all the infinite possibilities of each particular universe. And then the coming of the cosmic horrors and how they show up and what happens when they show up. And then the influence of them on the multiverse and how this changes that particular multiverse with all the energies leaking out of all various universes from the three various zones of each universe in each multiverse. And of course, because of the wild creation, how the setting that I'm dealing with, that particular universe, is two conjoined universes, one that would have died had that not been just a chance joining up with this one universe, and with all the energies that pour through in the configuration, how all that energy poured into the conjoined universe and created the inside, an infinite ocean of possibility and potential. And of course, the thing about all of these energies flowing through all of these various universes, each universe is pretty much a unique creation. If you wanted to create a particular universe again, you would need that exact energy that passed through at those exact wavelengths and angles and vectors of entry and points of time. You'd never be able to get all of that to be able to create each new universe the same as another one. It's always going to be different. Each universe is unique and will never be created again. And it's on this setting in these particular universes that there's the inside with the Crimson Kingdom, not the Cryptid Kingdom, the Crimson Kingdom and all, with the Razor's Edge being the transition point between the two and our universe out here, the outside. I did see something in a video that, again, just like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, the last episode of that showed perfectly what it was like to have the sight or cryptid vision, how you can see things that the others can't. I watched a video on how back in from the 60s, there was this guy who wanted to make an eventual town in Florida of hurricane-proof dome-like housing. And even though the housing actually worked as being hurricane-proof, the other parts of the houses didn't prove as hurricane-proof. While the building would stand, the windows would get smashed and then everything inside destroyed. And so there were like these 8 dome-like structures that they kept passing from owner to owner until it got back to the original person who lived there, until just they couldn't because they kept getting slammed by hurricanes. They started up on the beach And then all the hurricanes and shifting stuff, they ended up out in the ocean, and then they eventually fell apart and then just sank. The point being, I have mentioned that the razor's edge is just a transition point. It's not a real location. People still live there because there is land and the kaiju is there in this particular razor's edge. But it is just a transition point. Just like when you build on a beach, there is no such place as the beach. The beach is just the transition point between land and water. And just like these people's homes started up way up on a beach looking down at the ocean, eventually that transition point went all the way up here and this was all gone. The beach moved because the beach is just the transition between land and water. It's not a real location. And that is what the razor's edge is, perfectly encapsulating this as well. It is temporary in that it runs in cycles, but it's a not perfect, it is a continuous transition point where things are always changing, but it is a transition point. And I just wanted to talk about that because that thing that I saw pretty much encapsulated it, so thumbs up on that. Let's see if I have anything else on my list here. Ah yes, with the infinite ocean of possibility on the inside being just so much energy, and what happens is, with this conjoined universe and the razor's edge being a transition point, every razor's edge, because the razor's edges are just where the universes rub together until they get thin, until they break open, and there's a hole in each, and the razor's edge that forms there is the transition point between the two universes. That is just a metaphor. They are not balls bouncing around that rub against each other and bounce away, because if you got an opening here and an opening here, if it's continuing to bounce, how could there be a transition point between the two? That's just a metaphor. But there is energy that is formed from the contact between the two universes. This is a bleed off and the largest form of entropy that will eventually lead to the end of this universe, as all universes must perish. But the static energy is what forms the energy that fills the razor's edge, as well as that energy that pours in from the inside through the razor's edge to the outside. And what happens is, from the infinite ocean itself forms islands. For what purpose? Who knows? But solid people and non-infinite creatures live on these islands. I had mentioned that there are, I can't remember what or why, but there are people that are very, there are individuals that are very strong, and when you live as, it was for Utak, when you live as a beacon, as a spotlight, when you look at the world, you can see a lot, but you don't see details because everything is lost in the illumination. But when you live on a smaller status where you only have a candle for illumination, you're able to take a good close look at what this painting that had the illumination, had the details washed out by the spotlight, you can see for several lifetimes worth just the detail that's present that is lost in the spotlight if you only have the candle. So yes, living as just a limited meat person is limiting, but we're not spotlights, we're candles. We get to see and appreciate the fine details in the painting that are lost in the spotlight if you have more ability and power. And so the infinite ocean would seem to look upon this as a present for life to experience more limited abilities and thus appreciate more. Because on each island, this energy comes pouring upward toward the center. When it's doing this, it is raining out and becoming rarefied until it hits the center, pours through the doorway there, through the razor's edge, and then out into our universe. But it's going through a down conversion process that as when it reaches our universe as energy that our universe can use. And it's this raining out process that fills the razor's edge with a lot of creative energy. But things that are formed of the static energy are not a part of the infinite ocean of possibility and potential. Each being formed from the static energy of the razor's edge is a singular, unique being. For them to become a part of the infinite ocean, they would have to travel too. There is a character called Old Ray, who, when he was younger, designed a vehicle known as the Speliodonkus, as he called it, and there was a massive amount of this energy that, had he been less of a pure and innocent child, would have destroyed him and everything around him. But over a 2-year period, that energy funneled through him and into the vehicle that he was designing and creating. And when he was done, there was the Speliodonkus, fully aware. And they loved each other. He loved the Speliodonkus as he had designed and built it, and it was his girl. And the Speliodonkus loved him because this innocent being built, created, and loved her. And so they spent a lot of time together having their adventures until Old Ray, who's not immortal, well, is immortal but not invulnerable. He will just continue appearing to be in his mid-40s until he is killed. But he gets too much, and thinking that it's going to be a way to get out of the game, heads out toward the infinite ocean on the inside, thinking it would get rough and he's not going to survive. But it actually gets easier and simpler the further you get outward and the closer you get into the ocean, until they finally, he and the Speliodonkus, reach the ocean. And by this time, with so much energy, so much power there, the Speliodonkus has shed her bicycle form, and together they are just walking as man and woman toward the ocean. And when they reach it, emotion. When they reach it and they enter, the Speliodonkus goes from being just a one-shot, unique being into, well, she's a part of the infinite ocean. And in the infinite ocean, there are every single possible variation of yourself from every single possible moment of development from every point you could have ever gone in. And when Old Ray enters, because he's had adventures that they couldn't have had because of interactions with that static energy on the razor's edge, he gets to speak about all the things that have happened, and the Speliodonkus herself becomes a huge part with every version of her as well. And I think that's pretty cool. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank as many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, we have Doodad, who's depressed, and I fully understand. We have Jesse Koskinen. The horse head of encouragement makes me laugh. The duck head of scorn makes me laugh. And of course, the lobster hat of power is a very good thing. Thumbs up. Good to see you, my friend. We have Flora Mew. Oh, I hate creepers. I really do hate creepers in Minecraft. I wish they had never added them into the game. But there is Chris, thumbs up and thank you. Confused Owl 29, greatly appreciated. Did I mention that how I came up with the last name? You know, there was bread, butter, knife, and jam. So there was Brett, Ostler, and Kive, and Yamil. So that was from jam that I came up with Yamil. There is God_O, thumbs up and thank you. Crystal Lizette, thumbs up, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the videos for some time. There is Shinra, greatly appreciated. I hate creepers. Jury IBLVC? No, JUNYIIBLVC. Thumbs up. Adrian XJG, I am sorry you have a cold. I hope you get better soon. And then there is Cake. Greatly appreciated. Good to see you, Tommy Copeland, and I'm very grateful to you for watching all the way through. Thumbs up and thank you. Melissa R, always good to see you in the comments. Tia, thumbs up and thank you, and I hope to get back to the reaction videos soon. And that is it. What is that, 14 people who left me comments, or is that 9? I have honestly no ideas. I've forgotten what numbering I was doing. I got lost there. I have no ideas. Could that have been 4? Thumbs up for that. Anyway, thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and it is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. And of course, thank you if you have watched this far into the video. Nobody forces you to do so, so if you have done so, you have done so of your own volition, and that is appreciated to no end. Well, I got a busy day today. I'm hoping to make a phone call, but with it being in the beginning of the week and old people having nothing better to do but sit on the phone for hours, I'm likely not going to be able to make a phone call today because I don't have the battery power in any of my phones or the patience to be able to sit there if I'm like caller number 132. So I'm probably not going to get any phone calls done, but I got walking and printing and all sorts of things to do. Hopefully you can get done what you would like to get done. If not, don't beat yourself up. That's not going to help. It's just going to hurt. And of course, with the resurgence of the covfefe bug around the world, and we're still having so many, over 100,000 people every year are still dying in the US from this thing. And around the rest of the world, it's even worse. It's not over. Please be careful, be cautious, take appropriate precautions for your situation and location. And of course, if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of the bus horn, the bus with your name on it, remember, it might not be for you. Just because you can hear the bell tolls doesn't necessarily, that wasn't English, doesn't necessarily mean the bell is tolling for you. It is tolling for somebody. Somebody's gonna get hit by that bus, and it is gonna be just repulsive, the results. But it might not be you. So until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.